You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the SDN and OpenFlow event from Singapore. And I'm joined now by Sanjeev Mavana, who is Senior Director of Marketing at Cisco. Sanjeev, thanks for speaking with TelecomTV. Why are carriers interested in SDN?
I think a great question. If you look at carriers today, there's a massive transformation which is happening all around them, especially customers, their customers who are consuming their services. They are changing their business models, and carriers are definitely trying to figure out how they can cope up with the dynamic need of their customers' demands on a very dynamic fashion. Okay, that's where they are looking at SDN and NFV from an agility perspective on how they can transform their way of offering new services to these customers on how they need it in a dynamic fashion. You talk to all the operators, all the carriers who are out here, one thing is common. Their end customers, be it consumers like you and me, or enterprises, they are looking for personalized, customized service for their needs.
So are service, agility and provisioning the prime motivators for SDN?
Service agility is definitely a key aspect, and it's a key motivator. You think about it from their end customer perspective, is they want to go and achieve their specific business outcome. So think about it, what could be those business outcome? As an enterprise is used to run their IT centers, and they used to, their line of businesses, be it finance or be it marketing departments or be it their HR, they used to depend on those IT divisions to provide them those IT services. Now, those businesses, those line of businesses are needing, they have increased amount of requirements, and they are looking for new ways of solving their specific business problems or business challenges within their specific line of businesses. And IT department cannot cope up with that. So those requires new business outcomes. It's no longer just about, hey, I need connectivity or I need these SLAs, but it's all about, hey, I am launching a new service, credit card, I want to go after 200 million subscribers. How can I do it faster? That's the new business model. That's the new services which operators have a role to play in delivering that value chain. Again, they can play that role by providing the right aspect of connectivity. They can connect the businesses to the services what they're offering to their satisfaction. I think that's the dynamic. That's the change.
Where's the innovation happening in SDN at the moment? Is it still in the southbound API, OpenFlow, or is it elsewhere?
I think innovation is occurring at every level of the stack. If you think about, again, I would generalize both SDN and NFV because both are tied to the hip. If I start at the infrastructure level, there's a lot of innovation occurring at the infrastructure level itself. The innovation is happening on how do you make your infrastructure more programmable, more agile, and more simple. I think we tend to make we have tendency to make the infrastructure very complex based on a lot of different services what we had driven. So there is a nature of simplicity coming into the infrastructure, whether you're talking about IP plus optical, whether you're referring to core edge access, and that nature of simplicity is coming and making that infrastructure programmable. So that's at the bottom layer. By the way, infrastructure also includes how does network and compute work hand in hand together, because compute is not an afterthought of the infrastructure. Compute is integral part of the infrastructure as you build the networking piece as well. As you go up the stack, the next step is all about the platform layer, which is where you would do the management, orchestration of the services, and how you would leverage your underlying infrastructure resources to deliver the services which are ultimately going to give them dollars or bread and butter for their revenue generating pieces. And lastly, at the application layer, right? There's so much innovation happening at the application layer itself, which is all about how I can drive certain applications leveraging a lot of the infrastructure pieces. We heard today in the Congress, Ito-san from NTT was talking about the backup service. He was talking about disaster recovery services and so forth. There are other operators who are looking at tying in applications to the network to drive better efficiency for their end customers, be it in healthcare or be it in finance and so forth. So you see innovation happening at all three layers of the stack: infrastructure, at the platform layer, as well as at the application layer.
SDN comes with an alphabet soup of acronyms and protocols, and there seem to be more being added every month. Is there a danger that carriers will look at this and say, SDN's just not ready yet?
I think you bring up a fantastic point, because there are so many acronyms, so many different taxonomy, and depending on whom you're talking to, the actual meaning of that technology would be totally different than somebody else. I think it's not about that SDN or NFV are not ready. It's all about how these tools, if you think about it as the tools in delivering the ultimate business outcome, they're very much ready, depending on which use case or business case you are going after. For example, at Cisco, we have been working with a lot of operators. The operators, big operators like Deutsche Telekom, Telstra, Telecom Italia, they have all embraced these technologies and innovating new business models where they are actually going after new market space, and it's all about gaining operational efficiency and achieving new business. So it's very much ready. Every operator, every customer has a different use case. I don't think people need to think about leveraging SDN and NFV the way they have built infrastructures in the past. And there is a danger about that, where people tend to get into that mode of predictability, which is how we have built infrastructure in the past. We have built infrastructure keeping in mind that our customers or our operators' customers are expecting certain level of SLAs, resiliency. That's how the business models have been built. I don't think anybody can predict the future 10 years from now. So the most important thing for the carriers is to build an infrastructure which is flexible, which is more agile, which is simpler, for them to go and deliver services what their customers are needing. They may not have even thought about the services, what is going to come from 3 years, 5 years from now. And I think that's a different way of thinking and building the infrastructure.
What are carriers asking for with SDN? Are they looking for multiple solutions from multiple vendors, or are they looking for a more portfolio-driven approach?
Yeah, I think every carrier is different here. Some of the carriers are way ahead. They have the resources to go and play around. They have the resources to actually develop and experiment and try out. And there are some carriers who are bleeding edge and they want to go to the market straight away. So the requirements coming to the vendors like us is different from different size of the carriers. And if there is one thing which is common from all these operators is they're not actually looking for a specific solution. What they're looking for is a partner who can help them in this transformation. I think because there's so much going on in the business land, they're looking for a partner who has who can help them lead through this transformation, which is based on obviously looking at technical innovation as well as financial strength as well.
Sanjeev, thank you very much.
Thank you.